Um, well, Darren, we haven't spoken to you since you got your award for November. I know it's a whole club effort, but that's got to feel pretty good, justification of what you've done on the pitch over the last month.
Wasn't a whole club effort, it was just me. That's why it says manager of the month, not club of the month. No. No, listen, it's only because of the players. It's only because of them, and they've been fabulous, absolutely fabulous. It's been an enjoyable month, but it's weird. It's weird winning because I think you enjoy winning for about an hour, a couple of hours. Love the bit we have with the fans, and then you're back to thinking, how can I do it all again? Just to have that couple of hours. But when you lose, you feel it until the following game, and that stretches 6-7 days at times. So yeah, winning's it's a drug. It absolutely becomes a very addictive. But it's addictive for that 1 or 2 hours of tranquility in your mind that you might have actually done your job well for today. So, and then you get back to trying to think about how you're going to do it as well the following week. And we just got to keep trying to replicate those feelings.
Yeah, and you and some of the senior players have been through these sort of runs before, I'm sure. Do you have to sort of guard against some of the youngsters getting carried away, or expecting that this is what happens?
No, not carried away. There's there's other things that happen organically, like form and things like that. They train very hard. I'm not really the type of character that allows training to become sloppy or lacks motivation or edge to it. I've always been quite a demanding coach throughout my career. I've definitely got calmer, a lot more observant as I've got older, but yeah, no one's allowed to take their foot off it in training. Now, games are completely different. If games were the outcome of a really good training week, we'd all have really good training weeks and win every week. But it's not like that. It's like it's like any sort of performance industry, entertainment industry. You can rehearse all you like, but when the curtains open and the lights come down, you've got to show a temperament to be able to perform under pressure. And the winning has actually increased the pressure. Definitely has increased the pressure on us to keep winning. It's definitely increased expectation, and I can't tell everyone enough how much we are punching above our weight. Because in terms of resource, we're probably in the bottom 5 of the league in terms of resource, squad availability, quantity, all them sorts of things. We just happen to have a very small group that are fantastically motivated, determined, very athletic, and are in good form.
You started the run against Woking, of course you face again this weekend. Is there a point over that sort of 10 games where you think something changed, or something that's led you to go on this kind of incredible run of form?
No, I think like a lot of them since I've been here, is when you lose one player at Yeovil, it seems to kind of disrupt a whole system, and we have to have a certain 11 fit to play a certain system, or we have to change. And I think in my time maybe there's been too long a period where we've not adapted. I remember we went from playing 4-4-2 early on in the season, and Wilkinson got injured against Chesterfield. Staunton went back at centre half, and Worthington came into midfield with Dale. It didn't work, not because of them three. It just didn't. The balance wasn't right to the system. I maybe persevered with it a little bit too long. We changed, and we saw some good results. We saw obviously the FA Cup results with playing a diamond. And so on, and then we lost players from that, and you have to put more in. Now we've got more coming back, so that may change again. So I think the fact that there's a lot to do with timing and opportunity, and we just roll from there. And we've tried to reduce the necessity of the system over the last 10 games, and how important it is. Concentrate on what we're really good at. And like I've said many a time, is we're very good at. Athletically, we're very good. We're incredibly determined, motivated, and we're very good 1v1 defenders. I mean, all over the pitch, our 1v1 defending is fabulous. So we try to concentrate on that, and whether you play 4-4-2 or 3-5-2 or 4-3-3, 1v1 defending is 1v1 defending. It's not systematic. It's not tactical based. It's me v another man, and you got to win that duel. So we've been very good at that. So good. I can't tell you how good from a coaching perspective we've been in terms of that deployment of 1v1s, and we know we've got to keep being good at that in order to keep the clean sheets that have allowed us to win games, off of a chance or a penalty or a set play, and take a fair few points lately.
It's certainly been working well. You mentioned players coming back. One of those who's had a couple of little run-outs is Ruben Reid. Is he getting to a level of fitness where you can think about using him a little more than that? Yeah,
absolutely. He's ready for that kind of move on now. Whether he's ready for a half or more is we'll leave to the conversation of between Ruben and I, and where he feels. At 33, these people know their bodies and they know what they've got in their tank. Excuse me. So I think that that's a conversation for Ruben and I to have tomorrow morning before we pick a team. If he feels like he's good to go, we need to move him on. We need to push him on, because like Joe early on in the season, Addy's had to kind of carry that role in isolation for so long, and we all know what happened to Joe. It was too much for Joe. It was an overload for him, and unfortunately he's had to come out. But so we don't want that to happen to Addy, and then same when Ruben comes back, we don't want that to happen to Ruben. So I think it's over the course of this December period, this Christmas period, I think there's going to be a hell of a lot of minutes, hell of a lot of games, and we're going to have to share them amongst the squad.
So in terms of your sort of priorities, trophy this weekend, where does that sort of fit into things?
It fits into a run of games like every other game. What the trophy does for us, listen, we are absolutely adamant we want to win. I mean, I know I said last week about changing the team and giving people minutes. I'm not sure right now I subscribe to that in its entirety, because I want to win. And we talk about runs and we talk about this and that, and I don't think you can pick and choose. So I think tomorrow we'll pick what the most important outcome is for that game. It might be that it's minutes for players that haven't played. It might be that we maximise the momentum that we've created. But I think I'll leave that really late. There's no need to make those decisions now. There's no need to make early judgments or calls. I think we'll see where some of the players are tomorrow, see where some of them have come in terms of physically and the work we've done with them this week, and pick a team as good as possible. But whatever we do, we can't change much because we haven't got the options and solutions to put in. So it'll be a very similar side. There may be one or two that come out for someone who hasn't played, but whatever happens, it'll be, when you're talking about putting Knowles back in and Bradley's and Rubens and players like that, they're good players, and they're players that are not going to detract us from the quality that we've shown. So, but we've had some illness this week as well, so we've got to be careful with that.
Good luck. Thank you, Darren.
Thanks, mate.
Darren, we're back in the midst of this flipping COVID. Is the sort of fear factor upsetting the way the players, treat their lives outside of the football club? Because, I mean, obviously, you've got a pretty tight regime at the club, and they're all sensible about it, and you're all sensible about it, but you're relying on their common sense to make sure they keep safe afterwards and outside of the club.
There's no way to protect themselves. There's no way. Whether we've all got to go to supermarkets, and we've all got to go and buy shopping, and we've got to buy clothes, and we've got to buy Christmas presents, and my view on this, and it's only really my view now after the time we've spent living under these conditions or this illness, but we have to move forward. We have to move. This is going to be around. This ain't going away. We've got to learn to move forward with it as best we can, and that's keeping our life as consistent as possible for as long as possible. And while the conditions are these conditions, we have to keep moving forward, because whether the government shut the country down now, or shut football down, or shut leisure down, or the retail sector down, the illness isn't going away. It'll only just come back later on, and we'll have a surge later on. I think we've done fabulously well since. I mean, I know the big thing in terms of football was that the Premier League had more cases this month than any time since January. Well, in January there was no crowds. So we've gone from January to December, and half of that time spent has been with 80,000 at Old Trafford and 70,000 at Emirates and 60 at Anfield. I think football has done very, very well to keep it that long. And I just think this is going to happen. Tottenham at the moment have got it. Obviously Watford have got cases. You know, we've got to get used to this way of life because it's not going anywhere. And we're going to have to find a way to try and move through it. Now, if we get it, for example, and we're going to get it again this season, we haven't got a lot of players. You know, I'm open to say Morgan Williams has got COVID. So one player has got COVID from this week. And will be unavailable until Boxing Day. But we've still got to move forward. Now, if there's 3 or 4 and we can't field a team, then we call the game off. We play it later on when we have got enough players. And I think some common sense has got to prevail in that unless this goes through the country and has that kind of transition of, you know, the variants and things like that, whether we lock down now and get it later or get it now and don't get it later is all the same. Obviously, no one wants to see anyone seriously ill or pass or, you know, cause fatality from it. But unfortunately, the disease is here, and you know, we've got to try and keep moving on in our lives as best we can.
FA Trophy is very special to the club because it's the first sort of major trophy that they've ever won. Do you find that the player, you know, are the present squad of players aware of the history, the fact that we won it back in 2000, whatever it was, 2 I think?
No, probably not. Probably not. Terry, again, I've said this before. Terry speaks about it very fondly. Maybe Terry will speak about it tomorrow before the game, like he has done so brilliantly on previous occasions when we've had something attached to the club that's had tradition to it. I don't know is the honest answer, but I'm sure players like Moss and Barnett and Williams and Gorman, all the other young lads that haven't been here, have only just joined, I'm sure they wouldn't understand that was the first major trophy. What they do understand is that we've found a way and a process of winning, and it's very important to keep that process going. And like I said, winning's become a drug, and it's become a good habit for us of late. And I don't want us to come off that habit, whether we're keeping the same side or making wholesale changes. But we've got to make sure we keep rolling along and performing appropriately. And if we can keep defending in the way we've been defending, we've got a chance in every game.
The transfer window opens fairly shortly. Is it January the 1st or 2nd?
The transfer window's open to us now.
Of course it is, yeah. Yeah, we tend to get brainwashed into the fact that it's just once or twice a year.
Yeah, I mean, what opens is the opportunity to bring players in from other countries, yeah.
Yeah. Any plans to bring anybody in to bolster the squad at the moment? Or should I be asking Scott that?
Yeah, look, we're looking to do a month's loan for someone today, just to try and help us along, because we've been drastically short this week. I mean, we've had 10, 11 training all week, really. So we've been short, very short. So we're looking to try and do one today just to help us along. But no, look, I don't. At the moment, there'll be no additions that I can see in the near future. And we're going to have to make sure that we try and improve our current group as much as we can in order to get the most out of them. But I've got to be honest, how many players that we could bring in now would get in right now? I mean, it's different in January, I know that, because things can change, but most people, if they were coming in now, would play second fiddle to who's playing really well, because for one of the very, very few occasions in my time, every player is in form. Grant Smith's in great form. The back four are obviously Gorman, Staunton, Worthington, Wakefield, Yusuf, Sonny, Knowlesy. I mean, they're all in form. The only ones really who are not in form are the ones who haven't played as many minutes lately. Bradleys and Reeds and Max Evans and players like that. So, you know, we're really happy with what we got, and we've made a very, very special connection with each other, this group, because it's so small. You know, obviously we could do with a few more, because training with 10 and 11 and trying to go through busy, congested fixture pile-ups is going to be tough. And there will come a time where, you know, Hunt needs a rest, or Wilkinson or Smith or whoever. And having that depth gives you that opportunity. But hey, look, we've found something at the minute that's working, and hopefully we can drag that out as long as possible.
What's the situation from an injury point of view? How's Joe Quigley coming along? Is he likely to get back in soon or not?
Quigley will be 1st of Jan onwards. Mark Little trained this week for the first time in 4 months. Not fully, but partially. Lawson did as well. Jordan Barnett returned to training. Jack Robinson will probably be beginning to middle of Jan. Probably 10, 11 days into January. He's had some complications with his ankle at Middlesbrough. So I would say probably the first one available out of that at the moment's looking like Mark Little to come back into the squad. And then probably Quigley and then Jack Robinson. So once them three are back, that, you know, might actually have a decision to make one weekend. You never know.
Well, best of luck for the weekend.